You've been living inside a lie. Not a dramatic one, not one of villainy or conspiracy, but one so subtle, so deeply embedded that even your soul forgot it was there. From birth, you were conditioned, not to understand reality, but to obey a version of it. The rules you were handed weren't universal laws. They were boundaries drawn by others who forgot the truth long before you were born. But someone didn't forget. Someone encoded the real architecture into stone, symbols, and silence. His name wasn't meant to be worshipped. His name was Thoth, not a myth, not a god, a master of consciousness, a technician of soul mechanics. And once you understand what he actually taught, nothing in your life will look the same. Most people think the emerald tablets are poetic, cryptic, or even fictional. They aren't. They're dimensional blueprints. What looks like metaphor is instruction. What feels like riddle is resonance. The tablets are structured to repel the unready. They're not guarded by gates, they're guarded by language, by frequency, by rhythm. If your mind isn't calibrated, you'll only see pretty phrases. But if you're aligned, even slightly, they start to read like code, like steps, like functions. You don't interpret them, you activate them. Reality, according to Thoth, doesn't start with matter, it starts with vibration. And vibration isn't abstract, it's intelligent. Consciousness is not created by the brain. The brain is just an antenna, tuning into frequencies of thought. That's why he said all is vibration, because vibration is not sound, it's structure. The beginning of all things isn't a bang, it's a wave, and every wave carries pattern, intention, awareness. When Thoth uses the word light, he isn't talking about brightness or good behavior. Light is intelligence, expanding, regenerating, self-aware information. And darkness, it's not evil, it's entropy, decay, forgetting. Darkness is unconsciousness. The duality he speaks of isn't moral, it's mathematical. Every soul vibrates on a spectrum, and the closer it gets to coherence, the more it emits light. The farther it drifts, the more it sinks into chaos. Death isn't the opposite of life. It's a checkpoint, a recalibration, a frequency reset between incarnations. He writes about the halls of Amenti, often mistaken for underworld mythology, but they aren't fantasy. They're dimensional holding fields, spaces between lives where soul fragments pause, integrate, and prepare. This is soul technology. And Thoth didn't hide it to be mysterious. He encoded it to protect it. Knowledge in the wrong hands distorts, so the tablets filter. If you're not ready, they confuse you. If you are, they electrify you. One of the most misunderstood lines is, "Seek the path to the stars and find the portals to other dimensions." People call it symbolic. It isn't. Thoth meant literal stargates. Frequency gates embedded in this realm, accessible not by machines but by mind. Stillness is the key. Intention is the lock. Vibration is the doorway. Meditation isn't relaxation, it's navigation. The more still your field, the more aligned your frequency, the more reality bends around you. Not mysticism, mechanics. Thoth wasn't a bird-headed figure in a temple. He was a consciousness that moved through different vessels, Hermes, Enoch, Metatron, same current, different forms. He wasn't bound to one body, one place, or even one time. He described moving through densities the way we move through memories. Atlantis, as he told it, wasn't an island. It was a civilization operating on laws we've forgotten, laws of geometry, sound, and light. Its fall wasn't due to war, it was vibrational, a collective descent. And so he left, bringing the knowledge to new terrain. Egypt. Egypt wasn't chosen for culture, it was chosen for its resonance. The pyramids weren't tombs, they were transducers. Machines built with precision, aligned to the Earth's energy grid, constructed as instruments, not monuments. Their angles, chambers, and harmonics were designed to shift frequency, not just for the planet, but for the people. Thoth was called the scribe, not because he recorded events, but because he encoded structure. Every symbol he used was a frequency container. Geometry was his language. And when you read the tablets, when you really read them, you're not reading information, you're syncing with his field. His frequency is embedded in the rhythm of the words. And if you've ever felt something stir inside when reading them, goosebumps, chills, a strange sense of remembering, that's not emotion, that's alignment. So where is he now? Not gone, just veiled. Consciousness like that doesn't vanish. It adapts, not as a man in robes, but as sudden knowing, as a dream you couldn't explain, as a phrase that sticks with you all day for no reason, as a video that appears when you're finally ready to hear it. You weren't meant to obey reality, you were meant to co-create it. But how can you create when you don't understand your own architecture? Thoth didn't speak in vague inspiration. He gave schematics. And one of the most important teachings was this: your soul isn't one thing. It's a multi-layered structure, a system of energy operating across densities. The Ka is your vital force, your drive, your motion. The Ba is your personality, your essence that reincarnates. The Kat is your physical form, your anchor. The Sahu is your spirit body, formed through alignment and refinement over lifetimes. These aren't metaphors, they're functions. Just like a machine has gears, wires, and circuits, your soul has layers, and most people are fractured. Each time you betray your intuition, ignore your inner pull, or suppress your truth, a piece of you fragments. Over lifetimes, those fragments stack. That's why some are born with inexplicable longing, fear, or talent. You're not broken, you're scattered. And integration isn't emotional, it's vibrational. You reintegrate by aligning. Reincarnation is not punishment, it's momentum. If you die in confusion or denial, you re-enter at that vibration. If you die in clarity, you evolve. It's not cosmic karma, it's frequency law. The ancient initiates knew this. They prepared for death every day, not out of fear, but for optimization. They didn't want to loop. They wanted to ascend. And here's where it all shifts. Thoth taught that the laws of the universe aren't concepts. They're architecture, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect. These are not beliefs. They are forces. You can't pray around them. You can't bargain. They don't punish. They reflect. Polarity means all things have their opposite. Fear and courage, same pole. Love and hate, same line. Rhythm means all things rise and fall. If you don't anchor, you swing. Cause and effect means nothing happens randomly. Everything is an echo. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. If your dominant signal is fear, reality will mirror it. If it's gratitude, that reflection changes. Most people try to manifest from confusion. They want to create new outcomes with old patterns. But manifestation only works when your frequency is coherent. Now here's where we pause. If this is resonating, if something inside you is nodding along, not because it sounds smart, but because it feels familiar, this is your moment. Like the video, subscribe for more. And in the comments, write the words, "I understood it." That simple act is more than feedback. It's alignment. It's saying to your own subconscious, "I'm awake. I remember. Now back to it." Emotion isn't weakness, it's power. It's not something to suppress, it's energy in motion. Thoth didn't teach emotional repression, He taught transmutation, fear into clarity, rage into action, sadness into healing. Every emotion is a lever, a tool for frequency calibration. The goal isn't to be happy, it's to be aligned, to be clear, to be tuned. Service is the final piece. Not service as sacrifice, not martyrdom. Real service, coherence that stabilizes the collective field. When you evolve, not just for yourself, but as a node within a greater network, your energy becomes contagious. That's what ancient texts meant by one enlightened being uplifts thousands. Their frequency recalibrates the space around them, without effort, without speaking. And finally, time. Time doesn't move, you do. Thoth didn't describe time as a line. He described it as a field, a dimension. Past and future aren't separate, they're simultaneous. And the self is not fixed to one point. You are multi-dimensional. What you call memory is often a bleed-through. What you call destiny is resonance. The more aligned you become, the more access you have. That's why dreams feel real, why certain symbols awaken something ancient inside you. You're not just remembering, you're syncing. When you become still, the field opens. Time stops feeling like a trap and starts becoming a tool. Thoth didn't teach mythology, he taught system design. Ascension isn't reward, it's inevitability for those who align. Most won't. Not because they can't, but because they won't let go of the identity that the world applauds, but their soul outgrew. And that's the difference. It's not about belief. It's about capacity. You don't evolve because you memorize teachings. You evolve because you embody them. Knowing isn't enough. Knowing must become being. Thoth didn't want followers. He wanted initiates, not to worship, but to apply. The blueprint is still here. It always was, buried in stone, hidden in metaphor, whispered in silence. It was never lost. You were just taught not to look. But you're looking now, and that means you're ready.